We're at Eben Field in Kohler, Wisconsin, where tonight Sheboygan Lutheran Kohler takes on Hope School out of Milwaukee. Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Martin. Joining me is the coach, Chris Wright. Chris, you were talking to some of the visiting fans before we went on the air and told them we haven't done too many interviews out here.
No, we haven't. Over the last couple of years here, it's been a real struggle. Just 2 wins the last 2 years. 8 wins the last 4 years, so Lutheran Kohler's really not got a lot of wins, but one win they got last year was over Hope School.
Now, Lutheran Kohler really surprised us last week with a big loss, and we were expecting a little more out of them, and I think maybe the biggest surprise was their offense.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where, as a coach, well, we didn't really start last week. Let's start this week. You know, when you lose 56-0 and they struggled on offense with just 3 first downs, you got to basically start over and go back to the basics this week and prepare for this game tonight. And, what happened last week's over. Let's start over and get this one.
Now, Lutheran Kohler is going with a new offense. Zavada's the new coach, and he's going with his system, and it's the option offense. Does that create problems for Lutheran Kohler, or is it going to create more problems for Hope?
Well, different system again. It's a new coach. Coach Zavada coached here at Kohler years before. He then went and did a couple years at Ozaki, came back, and he's looking for his first win. He has a senior quarterback who last year threw for almost 1,200 yards, and now he's going to have to run the football a little bit more option. But from what I understand, he's a really good athlete, and with that should translate into a change, and he can maybe run the ball too.
That's Kurt Duco, and he was 3 for 5 last week, so I think he's a pretty good accurate passer, but they're not giving him much of a chance to throw this year.
No, and we'll have to wait and see. Last week, obviously, they didn't get much on their offense, and they struggled on the offensive line last year. And, as any good team goes, you're going to have to get the boys up front to get that done. I understand there's some guys that are a little tweaked a little bit. They're not going to play. Hey, boys, you got to play. The season's, here, and you got to get in there. And, you got a couple 200-pounders over there not even suited up today, but they're going to play a lot of guys both ways tonight, and that maybe tire them out, but they're playing a very young Hope School too.
We don't know a whole lot about Hope. I was talking to some of the kids before we went on, and they said they won last week 8-0, but they didn't play very well. It'd be nice to not play well and still win.
Yeah, and 8-0, it's a victory. Last year, as Sheboygan Lutheran just crushed them last year. I think it was 41-6. But they only have 3 seniors and I think 11 juniors. And you look at the roster, there's a lot of freshmen and sophomores on the team as well. I understand they're just a school that's only been in existence for just 5 years. So they're new to this too, just like the co-op is going with Lutheran and Kohler.
We're going to step out. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the kickoff for tonight's ball game.
Just close my eyes and I'm with you, and all that I so wanna give you, it's only a
You don't have to be a hero to be a hero. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
Pop quiz for you. In what movie did I play a gang leader struggling in school? Who was my teacher? What did I learn in math class? Oh, and here's one about you. What did your kid learn in math class today?
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school and know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
The United Church of Christ. No matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you're welcome here.
If you're not helping after-school programs, you're really helping to take them away.
That wasn't very nice.
After-school programs, wouldn't you rather be helping?
They're going through the defensive starters for the Hope School Hawks. Bruce Christopher, number 17. Number 23, Jared Triplett. Number 26, Joshua Affont. Number 30, Austin Davis. You see Davis coming into your picture right now. Number 40, Theo Harris. Harris, a little guy, but he's playing linebacker. He's probably a good hitter. Number 43, Tipion Houston. Number 43, Houston is only a freshman, Chris, and starting. Number 55, Troy Sanders, also a freshman, starting today. Number 63, Jerome Williams is a junior. Number 7, Michael Brackett. Bratchett is a sophomore. And number 75, Devonta Robinson. He's only a sophomore, so very young starting defensive unit. Number 88, Demetrius May, rounds out the starting 11. Head coach is Jermaine Evans. And the Hope School, Chris, by the way, beat Southwest Homeschool Association. There was an article in the Journal about that school about a week or so ago. And they're going to introduce the starting offense for Sheboygan Christian. Number 79, Josh Stenclift, starting at a lineman. Number 70, John Bethke. I think they're going in reverse order. High numbers up to low. Number 58, Brandon Kramer. Pretty good size out of those two boys, Chris. Number 56, Matt Osladil. Osladil is a senior. Rounding out the starting 5 in the line is number 55, Connor Duco. Duco is only a sophomore. In the backfield for Ben Carrier, number 25, will be starting in the backfield. Number 24 is Ryan Johansson. Johansson's a senior. Number 13, Mike Knobel. Knobel will be playing a receiver position. Jacob Cons, Jacob Cons, another wide receiver. Alan Rodriguez, number 2, another wide out. And rounding out the starting 11 for Sheboygan Lutheran Kohler is number 10, Kurt Duco. We talked about him in the opening. He's a senior quarterback, a very fine athlete. He's got a pronunciation correction. Number 7, Jacob Cans, is one of the wideouts for Lutheran Kohler. Lutheran Kohler comes in 0-1. Hope comes in 1-0. Chris had mentioned in the opening that Lutheran Kohler's lone victory last year was against Hope. They're hoping to get on the winning side of the ledger tonight.
Well, you said it when they were introducing Lutheran Kohler. They have some big boys there up front with Kramer, Bethke. Those guys have got to clear the way against this much smaller Hope team.
Metri is one of the deep players. The other is Garcia. Garcia was a leading rusher for Lutheran Kohler last week. Had 5 carries for 17 yards. Williams on the kickoff, picked up by Garcia near the 15-yard line. He's got an opening up the middle, scoots right through, he's open. He's up to the 4, down to the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, And in for a kickoff return touchdown for Lutheran Kohler, and what a start. No flags on the field. Oh, man. That had to be about an 87-yard return. I think he picked it up at about the 13-yard line.
7-yard touchdown return.
Well, last week they didn't score at all. This week it takes them 14 seconds.
That's the way to do it. Lutheran, there it is, picked up at about the 13. And Garcia, number 13 that was. Mike Knobel. We made the wrong call, Chris. Knobel on the touchdown.
Ryan Stefanchik for the extra point kickoff for Holder Duco.
Stefanchik doing the kicking, holding his Duco. Good snap and placement. The kick is up. And good. Nice kick by Stefanchik. And with 11:46 remaining, Lutheran Kohler on top, 7-0. We'll be right back.
Diagnosed, I didn't feel sick, so I didn't listen to my doctor. Then it struck. I had a heart attack, then a stroke, and I was only 49.
People with diabetes are 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer a stroke than people without diabetes. And many who survive are severely disabled.
Don't let diabetes destroy your life.
Learn how to reduce your risk of stroke. Call for your free diabetes survival guide.
Look, my first tooth.
Dudley, spit out the toothpaste. That was the first time you brushed your teeth.
And I brush twice a day, every day.
Oh, here's that nice dentist, Dr. Benchley.
Yep, he showed me how to floss.
Why are your teeth blue?
I use my mouth guard whenever I play sports to protect my smile.
And visit the dentist regularly.
Remember, brush twice a day and floss once a day.
Jared Triplett is the deep man for Hope. Doing the kickoff for Lutheran Kohler is Zach Blindauer. Again, Mike Knobel on an 87-yard kickoff return for a touchdown to open up the game. Putting Lutheran Kohler on top and giving them their first score of the 2008 season. Triplett fumbles it, picks it up, now he hands it off to the other receiver who's trying to get room. Good stiff arm. And he's bumped out of bounds at about the 11-yard line. Orlando Hall on the return. Lutheran Kohler with good coverage.
Well, Lutheran Kohler didn't get much practice last week on their kickoff return defense. They only kicked off once in the game. But there, the boys stayed home. They stayed on the, the left side there, and they did not take that fake or anything like that. And really stuffed up the Hope Hawks on that.
Triplett is the deep back in the backfield. In front of him is Kadarius Jamerson. Christopher is the quarterback.
Just a sophomore.
Straight drop back by Christopher. He pumps. Now he's going to take off and run. Gets around one man. He's got the first down. Gets by another man. He's still on his feet. And steps out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
Well, he had a man coming over the middle there, but decided not to throw it. I think that was May available, but tucked it under and showed good athleticism there. Big gainer.
Yes, sir.
There you see the replay. Good decision by that young man. I didn't catch the number there not to clip.
1st and 10 ball spotted on the 35-yard line. That was a 24-yard pickup by Christopher. Bruce Christopher, number 17 at the controls. Triplett the deep back. First back through, got it. And Triplett gets away from one man, but not from the other. It was the second back through, but a big loss on the play.
Brandon Kramer had the initial hit there, and though he spun away, He had the first big hit there. I love the color scheme for Hope. Navy and Vegas gold. And if anybody knows me, I love going to Vegas. So I love that color.
Second and 18 now for the Hawks.
Loss of 8 on the play for Triplett. Makes it 2nd down and 18. Get to the first back through. Washington, number 33 on the carry, picks up a few. 3rd and 15. Big 3rd down play. Here's where you want your defense to be successful, Chris. You got to stop them on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 15. Ball spotted on the 30-yard line. Wide receivers spread out left and right. Over on our side is Demetrius May, number 88. Christopher rolling, tucks it underneath right away, and gets knocked down. Pretty good hit out there by Jacob Cans. Christopher on a short gain. Picks up about 3 yards on the play, but it's going to be 4th down and 12.
Once again, I thought Lutheran did a nice job there, staying home. Didn't go with the fake at all, and plenty of green shirts there to snuff out that play. Devontae Boy a little late coming out there.
2 return men back for Lutheran Kohler. Kick is away. Not a real long one, but the punter does get a pretty good block. I don't know why the Kohler guys are standing around there.
They got to blow that whistle faster.
Well, not only that, but the Lutheran Kohler guys got to know to get away. I mean, you're not going to all of a sudden just pick it up and run.
Yep.
Anyway, 1st and 10, Lutheran Kohler. They get their first offensive possession.
36-yard kick with no return.
Ball is spotted on the 34-yard line. Get the length of that punt.
Yeah, 17. It was on the 33, so I had 17 is
17, 27.
Yeah.
32.
That's what
33 yards maybe.
Yeah, they said these guys over here can't calculate very good.
Inside handoff. Lutheran Kohler runner gets it over the 35, but not much more.
That's what I counted.
Ryan Johansson on the carry.
I counted 34. 4, and they announced 36 over the loudspeaker. I'm like, maybe I'm wrong.
Pickup of 2 at 2nd and 8. Ball spotted on the 36-yard line. Duco under center.
I just run them and run them and run them.
Johansson, tailback. Fake handoff to him. Duco keeps it and is dropped right at actually behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe picked up a yard.
Bratchett there was all over that. Michael Bratchett. Duco had no place to go, which sets up 3rd and about 8. And here we may see the ball being thrown.
No gain by Duco. It's still 3rd and 8. Wide receivers left and right, and we got a wide receiver in the slot on the left side. Duco rolling left, throwing back. Receiver coming back to try and make the catch, but it's incomplete. That's a hard throw to make, Chris, when you're rolling one way and then you got to throw back the other.
He's lucky it didn't get intercepted, but there was a hold also on the play. I'm sure Hope will decline the penalty, but there you see it. You're real lucky the way it was thrown up there. That
Triplett had a pretty good shot at it.
Yep, and he's one of the seniors, and now he's going to return it here.
Holding is declined. That'll bring up 4th down for the Crusaders.
Duco threw for almost 1,200 yards last year, but just 5 touchdown passes.
He had a top-notch receiver last year. Kid from Kohler, Fione. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but Triplett is the deep back for this punt return. And it looks like Blindauer is going to be doing the punting also. He kicked off to start the game. Kick is away, a high floater. And takes a nice bounce for Lutheran Kohler and gets inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. See, 23, 33, 37-yard punt, right?
I had him on the 36, 14 plus
23.
Well, now they're changing it to 28.
Ooh, how did they move that ball up there like that? Right out loud. We gonna do that again this year? That would make it a 38-yard punt, guys. Move that ball up a little bit. They moved it up a yard. You guys can't catch a break. Triplett on a nice move, slips by one tackler, but not the second one. Making a good stop out there. I can't read his number, Chris.
I got to be honest with you, both jerseys are difficult to read. I'm with you.
Alan Rodriguez, I think, well, his shirt is riding up on his back. That's
right.
Why. It's covering up his number.
Yeah.
But I think it was Rodriguez.
There's a couple guys on Hope, too, that are just, I'm just going to say it, just a little smaller than their uniform, and it's tough to read the jerseys.
Well, not a good play there. Loss of 3 by Triplett. Makes it second down and 13.
We know it's not our sight or our age or anything.
No, it would never be that. Maybe not for you. Christopher under center. I think he wanted to give it to the fullback and then pulled it out and kept it. And gets knocked out of bounds over the 30-yard line.
Christopher carries to the 33-yard line. Gain of 6 yards on the play.
Christopher gets it out to about the 33. I tell you, he's got pretty good yardage, Chris. In 3 carries, I've got him for 33 yards already.
Well, Washington goes back to the huddle and say, "Give me the ball." I think he turned around when he kept it. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it certainly was a botched play. Well, I'll tell you that Bruce Christopher, number 17, looks like a pretty good runner.
Yep.
Probably like him handing it off. Wideouts left and right for Hope. Fake handoff. Christopher keeps it. We got a hold in the backfield. Flag is thrown. And Christopher is thrown out of bounds at about the 38-yard line, but there's a flag in the backfield. That was an easy one.
Yeah. They're going to get the freshman Jalen Cole. He doesn't look like a freshman. Number 78, he's a big person, but they just kind of tackled. And see, he's so big. He's too big for his jersey. Freshman. Oh, my.
Well, he wears it well on the back.
Yes, he does. Oh. My son's going to be a freshman next year. He just buried. My son would be lost. Maybe my son should do swimming or something.
Really. 3rd down and 23. Ball all the way back to the 16-yard line. $10, $15, $20.
Spot foul.
Yeah, no, I understand that part. I was just trying to see how close they were. The clock runners. Christopher straight back looking, fires it downfield. Had a receiver open but threw it short.
Yeah. Gullery came across the middle, but I think he kind of slipped. But he did break through that seam. You were right there, Marty, but I think he slipped on the turf.
3rd down and long 23 yards for a first down. There's 5:47 remaining in the first quarter. Lutheran Kohler on top 7-0 on an 87-yard kickoff return by Mike Knobel.
Kohler Lutheran should have great field position here, Marty.
Fourth down punt is away. Taken by Knobel. He slips one tackler, but not the second. He gets it up down over the 40 into about the 37 or 38-yard line.
Gain of 10 yards by Mike Knobel on the play. First and 10 Crusaders inside Hawk territory. Ball on the 38-yard line.
Well, they got to do better than the last drive. As you mentioned in the opening, the offense struggled a week ago and didn't look much better on that first drive.
Johansson, the lone setback. Little pop pass over the middle is incomplete. Intended for Mike Knobel.
I think he got boggled up a little bit at the line there.
Right, he wasn't able to slip free like he wanted to.
Second and 10 Crusaders.
Second down and 10. Lutheran Kohler's had trouble on the offensive side, not only this week, or pardon me, last week, but this week also. Hope bottling them up pretty well. But Duco throwing a little more. He only had 5 passes last week. He already has 2 here in the first quarter. Handoff. Knobel breaking loose. He's onto the outside on the left, around the left end, and gets it down inside the 10-yard line. Knobel with an 18-yard pickup, and it's first and goal.
There you see the replay. Found a little opening and off he ran. He's been the highlight of the first quarter, no doubt about that, Mike.
That's for sure. Now, where are they going to spot this ball? Just, you know, it looks like it's just outside the 10-yard line. So it's first and 10, technically on the 11. Same play, Knobel again, but this time he gets ripped down right at about the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10.
I'd give it to Johansson, let him pound it.
He touched the ball once. He gained 2 yards up the middle, but you're right. You know, a big guy in the middle. Just not seeing it.
Slowly but surely work them down. Wear them down with your size.
Duco, fake handoff, trying to get to the outside. Slips one tackler, but he gets buried by a couple other guys. And again, the jersey riding up on the back. We can't read the number. But Duco goes nowhere.
I think that
loses 2.
Was that Bratchett again? Bratchett on the play there.
3rd and 12. Ball spotted on the 13-yard line. Lutheran Kohler having trouble getting anything going. They picked up an 18-yard run by Knobel, but after that, Chris, you know, it's not much. Spreading the field now. 2 wide receivers and 2 slot backs. Knobel in motion. Hope blitzing.
Side's open.
Oh, he had his receiver and he got hit and dropped the ball. Making a good hit was Jarrett Triplett, forcing the incompletion. Duco had his man and he made a good throw. Right there, he got to hang on.
And then it was almost picked off.
Yeah. 4th down.
Then it would have been about 15 seconds going the other way. 28-yarder here, Marty.
Yeah. I tell you, he would have made the extra point from out here. He nails that one. Wow. That one could have been good from close to 40 yards. How many times we see field goals attempted in Maiden High School football? 23-yard field goal, Chris. That was a dandy. With 3:47 remaining in the first quarter, Lutheran Kohler up 10-0.
As a reminder that next week, the JV football team will be
I hope you're saving the extra money.
You gotta put it in stocks.
If you want to get ahead.
No, buns.
And CDs.
Stick it under the mattress.
Getting plenty of advice, but not enough facts? Visit saveandinvest.org. No confusing advice, no sales pitch. Just unbiased information and tools to help you manage your money with confidence. Saveandinvest.org.
Salam.
Salam. Hey, what?
Apa? Mir.
Shanti.
We all want the same thing. Peace. And Rotary clubs are making it happen.
Back at Eben Field, kickoff goes right through two players, and then falling at it at about the, oh, cray. Falling on it was Tim Brown Jr. Well, for a minute there, I thought that was a North baseball player. I couldn't resist, Chris. Sorry,
I'm not
about
familiar with the action. Well, field possession, field position really helped Lutheran Kohler there. You stuffed Hope, then you got a nice little kickoff return, punt return, and then that 18-yard run by Knobel, and you got yourself some points.
That was a 28-yard field goal. Did you say that, Chris?
Yep.
Okay. A nice run right up the middle for Hope.
Peter Ladwig on the tackle.
Jamerson on the carry. There you see it, first back through.
But again, the game has been played entirely in the Sheboygan Lutheran Kohler, end of the field. They've even Hope has not been over the 50-yard line yet, and so that is why you got some points and Hope doesn't.
Second down, pitch out to Triplett, trying to get around the end. We got a flag in the backfield, and Triplett is dragged down just over the 30-yard line.
Holding penalties.
Face mask called against the defense. Holding on the offense, penalties offset.
Okay, I don't know if you could hear that, but offsetting penalties. Face mask called on the defense and illegal block or a hold on the offense. So play is negated. That means it doesn't count, and we'll start over again. That's in case we got any grade school children watching a game, Chris.
Oh, there's plenty. You'll have to watch us on 990 at the end of the month, so stay with us. We still want to provide area sports, and TV8's been doing it for a long time. We're just moving backwards or forward on the dial, whichever you decide to do on your TV.
Christopher giving it to the second back. Triplett, he's trying to get to the outside, picks up a nice block and cuts through the line of scrimmage and is knocked out of bounds. Almost up to Lutheran Kohler territory, over the 45 to about the 46. 21-yard gain.
And for you young players out there, did you see the little spin at the end? Watch at the end, the extra little effort. There he gets around end.
Nice cut there.
Now watch him spin here for the extra yard. Woof! And tomorrow, I know, is the big day at Kiwanis Park for Sheboygan area youth football.
Hey, isn't that how you use that little joystick on the Madden game?
Yeah.
Zip him around?
Tommy does it to me, but I never figure out which X, square, triangle, whatever it is. I can't figure it out.
Bruce Christopher under center. Triplett the deep back. Take that back. It wasn't Triplett, but a nice tackle made. On the carry was Darius Jamerson.
that was Krieger, just the freshman on the play, but if he didn't get him, that would have been another big gainer for Hope.
He definitely had some room, if you're right, if he gets by that number 1 first tackler.
Well, he got a good burst of speed, but he only gained a yard. He ran 5 yards to get to the line of scrimmage. Because they are really deep back there, Marty.
Very big, yeah, almost 10 yards. Well, that almost had to be a penalty. That man on the end here, the wide receiver, DeJounte Boyd, was moving, till the ball was snapped.
Well, I think he was supposed to be up on the line of scrimmage, so they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. And then, you're right, he was moving also. So they actually committed 2 fouls there.
Because he never did get up.
No.
3rd down and 9.
There
Ball spotted on the 47.
Well, we'll have to talk about this a little bit. As you can see, the Lutheran Kohler fans are on the opposite side, because on the side that traditionally have the stands, they're going to do some work here, and I believe they're taking out there you see us.
Wow.
Way up here. I had to do not since my days as a Army Ranger, I had to climb up here.
Don't get so close, Brian.
But
Brian Andrews on the field camera. Eric Weisman up on top. Christopher tucks it in now. He's going to run. He's got room to go. Good stiff arm, gets by 1 tackler. He's in
gone.
the open. He's gone. You're right. Into the end zone. Or no. Did they get him short of the end zone?
By about a half a foot.
I think he made the wrong decision. He needed to keep heading to the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be a 1st and goal.
Wow, big run. Well, here he tucks it under, and this is what we're worried about, him getting out in the open field. And you're right here, Marty. He should have gone basically right to the post. Or
to the pylon.
Yeah, the pylon, which isn't there, but that's...
That G.
Yep, the G. Which normally is a pylon there.
See, that was 49 yards. That was more than that.
51?
51, we'll give him.
Touchdown.
Number 33, Jacob Washington up the middle. Gets it into the end zone. It's hard to see for us from here. Chris could probably see that. But anyway, Hope is on the board on a 1-yard run. And they're back in the ball game. I'll tell you, that 51-yard run by Bruce Christopher was pretty awesome. Is there anything defensively that they can do to kind of prevent that?
They got to contain. They're going to have a spy on that guy because he's just too quick and athletic. Strange play.
Well, he tried for the 2-point conversion, but the pass was incomplete. So with 59.2 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it's Lutheran Kohler 10, Hope 6.
Below 150. High triglycerides increase your risk of heart disease. And if you're a woman, that risk goes up even more. After standing in the shadows of good and bad cholesterol, triglyceride, also known as the forgotten fat, is ready to share the spotlight and the attention. Remember to ask your doctor about the good, the bad, and the forgotten fat. And remember, normal triglycerides are under 150.
This message brought to you by Sister to Sister, working together for healthy hearts.
Hey, there's a little fan.
Well,
he's into it.
Yep. As I was mentioning before, they've...
Bring the popcorn and the hot dogs.
I think they're going to take out the track, Marty, and redo the track as well as the whole bleacher section. Supposedly it's going to be really sharp when it gets done here.
I was thinking when you first started, there was another football field that we've gone to where the press box was on one side, but the home team would be on the opposite side, and that was Sheboygan Falls.
Falls?
Yeah.
I was going to say Falls. Elkhart?
I don't remember those, Elkhart Lake so much because I don't even remember seeing a big football game out there. But you're right. Most of the time, the press box is on the same side as the home field.
Al Holsheimer, the principal at Lutheran High, is former coach here for 4 years, is now the defensive coordinator, and Lee Benish is now the principal at Kohler.
Former South High principal. Duco under center. There's the guy you wanted carrying the ball. Johansson breaks loose. He's down to the 40, the 30, the 20, and knocked out of bounds near the 10-yard line. What a run that time by Ryan Johansson.
I just thought he's going to have a big game, being 250 pounds.
He's a load.
Yep, over some of these. Here you'll see it. Watch right here. He switches hands. Perfect. Get it on the outside hand so the defender can't knock it out. And then he's just a little bit too slow for the Hope Hawks, but a nice run.
Ball is spotted at the 11. It's 1st and 10.
Just what you wanted. After Hope scored on you, you got to come back and counter and get that score right back.
That was over a 60-yard run. We'll get that figured out in just a second. Johansson up the middle. Gets it down to about the 10, and a Lutheran Kohler player is down. You can see him get twisted up at the point of attack.
You know, I don't think I want to give it to him right away after running 60-some yards. I would have probably
17.
Done something different. I think that's Bethke there. That got all. You're right. It was right at the point of impact of the play.
Yeah, it was a 56-yard run by Johansson. And then he picks up about a yard on that run. So he now is sitting with 57, 58, 59 yards in 3 carries. I don't think he'll get up to that 20-yard per carry average. And after 10 or 15 minutes, he bounced back up and ran off the field. And Stu and I are like, what in the world is going on? You know, cry. Here's Big Al.
Yep.
Holzheimer.
He's in charge of the defense right now.
2nd down and 10. The clock is running with under 30 seconds remaining. Johansson alone setback. Knobel in motion. Little adjustment right at the end by Hope, but it doesn't help. Knobel gets through the middle and gets it down inside the 5-yard line. And that'll be the last play of the quarter. They're spotting it at the 5-yard line. So it's a 4-yard pickup. And that's the end of the quarter. At the end of 1 quarter of play, Lutheran Kohler on top of Hope, 10-6.
Just close my eyes and I'm with you, and all that I so wanna give you, it's only a
You don't have to be a hero to be a hero. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
Pop quiz for you. In what movie did I play a gang leader struggling in school? Who was my teacher? What did I learn in math class? Oh, and here's one about you. What did your kid learn in math class today?
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school and know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
Back at Eben Field in Kohler, Wisconsin, where Lutheran Kohler is on top, 10-6. Got some incomplete stats, but last week Lutheran Kohler only had 81 yards or 83 yards for the night. In that first quarter, they had 79 yards rushing and 8 attempts. So they got things turned around so far here tonight. They're knocking on the door. It's 3rd down from the 5. They need 4 for a first down. Duco faking the keep. Johansson takes it up the middle, not for much though.
Sheboygan Lutheran Kohler is going to call timeout here, Marty.
TO by Lutheran Kohler.
Yeah,
good call, Chris.
It's 4th and 4 from the 5. Now you can look at that two ways, Marty. You got 79 yards on 8 carries, but what was it? One of them was 60 yards.
Yeah, the 56-yarder certainly built it up there. Otherwise, and they had an 18-yard run from Knobel, but other than that, it's 2-0, minus 2-0, 4. You're right.
I think I'd take 3 points here.
They certainly have shown the ability to do that.
You know, they got that nice field goal kicker. I mean, this is the opportunity to get some easy points. And the wind is non-existent tonight.
Ryan Stefanchuk plays shortstop for Lutheran Kohler this past season. Also played a little basketball against them and with them over at Kohler on Sunday morning. He's a good player.
And they're not going to take my advice. They're going to go, they're going to say, it's the ball's on the 2 with 4th and 1. I'm sorry.
Johansson, fake to him. Second back through. Knobel, I believe, took it.
Touchdown.
And did he get in? Yes.
Wow, I thought he was short.
Knobel on the carry, and he took it in from 2 yards out for the touchdown. That's a big one, Chris. Here we're going to see it. Knobel gets it.
Here, I thought he was stopped, but he just fell over the line.
Yeah. The Hope guys were on him, but they didn't get a clean lick at him.
Ryan Stefanchuk on the extra point kick off the hold of Kurt Duco.
Stefanchuk. And I think we got somebody jumping over the line of scrimmage on the Hope side. See, offside, Hope. Let's see if they continue to go for the 1-point kick or if they're going to go for the big one.
Oh, and Lutheran Kohler didn't have enough guys on the line. That was a really...
What else is wrong here?
Yeah.
Knobel with 2 touchdowns tonight. Good snap. Whew. You know, if I was a Hope guy, I'd just get out of the way. With 11 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in the first half, Lutheran Kohler on top, 17-6.
The United Church of Christ. No matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you're welcome here.
Lindauer getting ready to kick off to Hope. They Hope, that is, they trail at 17-6. Bruce Christopher Chris in 4 carries has 84 yards. Triplet in 3 carries has 10 yards. And this other young man, Washington, has 4 yards and 2 carries. So they've run the ball pretty well. Oh, nice tackle out there. Making the strip down was Ben Carrier. On the carry was Sean Wallace.
Carrier's been on a couple plays already.
He's got the best number on the field. Number 25. Ball spotted on the 33-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10.
I know Hope doesn't have a 25.
Jermaine Evans, the head coach, right there.
10 a.m. Saturday and 7 o'clock Tuesday. Again, TDA 10:30 tonight. 10 a.m. Saturday, 7 a.m. Tuesday.
Christopher under center. He's been a load tonight. First back through.
Ball's on the ground. I think Lutheran's got it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Looked like the runner got stopped, but they didn't blow the whistle, and in his attempt to struggle for more yards, the Hope ball carrier lost it.
We must have seen something under the pile that I didn't see.
Well, on the carry was Washington, and he lost the yard, but apparently no fumble. Certainly looked like it, didn't it, Chris?
I thought he lost it there.
2nd down and 11.
Once again, I thought that Hope was going to have a nice little gainer there, but seems like they take so long to get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're not quick poppers, are they? Christopher back, hands it off. Triplett trying to get around, slipped by 2 tacklers.
Christopher delivers a blow. Oh my.
Down over the 50 into Lutheran territory. Nice run by Triplett.
And
he's shifty.
The quarterback came downfield and made that hit. Well, we have a flag down.
They're talking to Ryan Johansson.
Watch the quarterback here. Come out of the side. Oh.
There it was. Just kind of caught the end of it, didn't we?
And a hold again on Hope. Every time they have a big play, seems like somebody's holding, doing something.
Looks like the infraction happened right at the 40-yard line. They're marking off 10 yards and spotting the ball at the 30.
What a block by Christopher. Holy cow. Took away a big gainer.
Ball is spotted on the 25-yard line now. And it's going to be 2nd down and 17. Make it 2nd down and 12, actually.
Well, with a young squad like this, you're going to have penalties, and Coach Evans is going to have his hands full probably all year. But if these guys groom together by the time they're seniors, this could be a nice little outfit.
Ball carrier takes it up the middle, but for little or no gain. Looks like it was Jamerson on the carry again. Picks up no yardage on that one. It's going to be 3rd down and 12. Ball still on the 25. Lutheran Kohler on top, 17-6. Clock rolling down, under 10 minutes remaining until halftime. Mike Martin along with Chris Wright bringing you the ball game. Kerry Kautzer spinning the dials in the truck. Doing a great job getting us our replays. Christopher back, puts it down, and he wanted to run with it, and he tripped and fell. And looked like he had a little bit of a seam, Chris, if you could have got the takeoff going.
Well, he had Boyd on the fly, too, and just didn't have enough time to get rid of the ball. And with that, they're going to have their 3rd punt of the first half.
Ball is spotted on the 26-yard line.
Oops, off.
Not a very good snap. And tucking it under and running is the Hope punter. And he's going to be very close to the 1st down, Chris. I don't know if he got it or not.
I think that last, I was going to just say, sorry, Marty, that last spin may have got it.
I believe it was Donaldson on the carry. And he did get the 1st down.
Coach Evans is like, maybe that's our called play. If it rolls to the punter, just run. Oh, that's just a bad break for Lutheran Corey. You had him pinned back at the 25, and the punter runs for 18 yards.
1st down and 10. Ball spotted on about the 43-yard line. Christopher on the pitch out to Triplett, trying to get around the end.
Not going to go anywhere.
Nope, he gave up a lot of ground, too. That's going to be a big loss of about 4 or 5 yards. It's going to be 2nd down. Ball spotted on the 40, so a loss of 3.
Yeah, Triplett tried to get to the outside, but he couldn't outrun the Lutheran Kohler guys as they were spread out pretty good there. And that's what you have to do. You have to keep them or turn them in. You can't let them get to the outside. And we've seen Hope do that a couple times, and that's where they've been dangerous.
Second down and 13. Christopher, ever dangerous under center. There you see him. Number 17 for Hope. Tucks it under, looking to run the sweep. Pretty good pursuit by Lutheran Kohler. And knocking him out of bounds was big number 24, Ryan Johansson.
Once again, same play, opposite side, different ball carrier, but again, Lutheran Kohler not letting them turn it outside. You got to keep them in, and that's what they're doing there. Now, what you might now end up doing is there might be holes up the middle now, because you're kind of spreading out the defense a little bit. Let's see if Lutheran Kohler can close that little door, because they've done a good job now, 2 plays in a row, not letting Hope get to the outside.
Third down and 16, one of the few times they've actually controlled Bruce Christopher. Straight drop, looking deep. He's got his receiver open, but he overshot DeJounte Boyd, who had beaten the defense, but again, pass incomplete.
Got a nice little arm there.
He does. He was 0 for 2 in the first quarter, Chris, and 0 for 1 here in the second, so he's 0 for 3 passing. But he can wing it. And look out, they're punting. So it was the kiss of death last time. Knobel, one of the men back to return.
Same
Another
play.
bad snap. Kick is away. Oop, fall on it. And recovered by Lutheran Kohler at about the 36. That was Metry making the recovery.
27-yard punt. Crusaders take over 1st and 10 from their 36-yard line.
It's going to be 1st and 10 Lutheran Kohler. 7:18 remaining. Ball spotted at the 36. Well, they have shown some offense, Chris. It wasn't certainly not like last week. And they got the lead 17-6. They've looked good tonight. I think you're going to be doing some interviews. Got your questions ready? Fake handoff. Duco couldn't get by that one tackler and gets hit for a loss.
Once again, that offensive line just got to hold him just a little bit. You got to hit somebody, give him a little bit of time. Duco's capable of throwing. He's a good athlete, can run a little bit. The line's got to hold a little bit longer, give him some time to do some work.
2nd down and 13.
It's in big plays. Knobel on the kick return and Johansson on the big run. Be nice to see him just pound it down 4 yards, 5 yards a shot here.
Well, Johansson needs to touch it a little more. He's only got 1 carry so far this quarter. Duco rolling. Lobs the pass out to his wide receiver who makes the catch, but they're going to say incomplete. He was bobbling it as he went out of bounds. That's a good call. Metry was the intended receiver.
I like to see that in a replay. I understand he bobbled it, but I thought he caught it.
He did catch it, but he was out of bounds.
Yeah, that's what
I think.
Yeah, I think you might be right, but let's see if Eric is the man here. Whoop, good.
Yeah. He was bobbling it.
Yep.
3rd down and 13 again. Duco rolling left, having to throw back right. Makes it a tough throw. Wide receivers left and right. Johansson is the lone deep back. A couple of wings. Duco again rolling to his left. Looking.
Same play.
Looking. Throws it deep. Oh, that one is made. Nice catch out there by the Lutheran Kohler receiver, Metry. Ball is going to be spotted at the Hope 47-yard line. Here you go. Take a look at it.
It's exactly the same play.
You know, I think Duco just kind of threw that ball up for grabs. His receiver out-battled the defender for it.
Yep, exactly.
17, 18, 19.
Nice catch.
Yep, 20-yard pickup. Nice catch by Ametri.
Give it to the house. Johansson right here. Nope.
Second back, Knobel. He's got an opening to the outside. There's a flag. Goes in. He's down to the 35-30 and knocked out of bounds at about the 29. But again, I think this play is going to get called back. The flag flew in as Knobel was heading to the sideline. Yep, that's too bad.
Holding is a preliminary call against the Crusaders.
Flag came out at the 45. That's where they're going to march it off from there. A 10-yard penalty. It's going to be first and 17 at the 45.
First down, first and 17.
This pen I have, you know, it's real thick. You know, it keeps going through to the next page. That's okay.
It's been working out.
Yeah, it's been working. We got different. We're color coded tonight.
No, it's been working out because it's so thick and strong. Ooh, that didn't look right. Reverse.
Knobel slips one tackler, but not the next two. He gets knocked down at about the 46. Pick up a 1.
Good discipline by Hope. They didn't sell on the movement to the right. Timeout for Hope.
Timeout Hope with 5:48 remaining. And there you see it, Lutheran Kohler on top, 17-6.
Again, next week.
The United Church of Christ. No matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you're welcome here.
Hey, look at those fans. You're on TV. The other guy says, I don't care.
Tonight's game will be broadcast on local TV 8, 10:40
Yes.
This was just looking. Lutheran Kohler has a tough opponent next week.
Cedar Grove.
Coming here.
Yep. Third straight home game for them, but Cedar Grove, Howards, Random, all those teams will be battling in that CLC battle. We'll be
you know
back.
Who's going to win that one, don't you? I told you. I told you it was going to be Howards Grove.
Did you see the Bayport score last week against Ashwaubenon?
No.
Oh, yeah.
What was that one?
41-35 maybe?
Non-conference, buddy. Non-conference.
I know. All right.
Second
Fumble! And he held on.
Is that Duco hanging on? No, it was Johansson. Johansson on the... And give him a no-gainer on that. It's going to be third down and 16 now. Ball still on the 46. Lutheran Kohler on top, 17-6. 5:20 and counting until halftime.
5:20 and counting.
Well, they got the field spread this play, like they have most of the night for that matter. Blitzer. Ball is thrown up for grabs, but out of bounds. On the blitz was Dimitri May, and almost got to Duco that time.
He flattened Duco, but then he picked him up.
So that makes it all okay.
You know, right in front of the official, too, so next time he just hits him a little late, oh, he'll pick him up.
What looks bad is when you flatten him and then you get up and you put your hand on his chest and you get, you know, oh, help me up, and you push on his chest, thanks. Blindauer into punt for Sheboygan Lutheran Kohler. By the way, you know, this is a co-op team, right, Chris? Okay. So how come they get to be the Crusaders? Why don't they get to be the Blue Bombers?
I don't know.
Or the Green Bombers?
The Green Bombers.
Isn't it the Red Raiders for the co-op hockey team?
Yep.
He's slippery, slipping by a lot, and I think there's a fumble, and it looks like Lutheran Kohler saying they have it. And the official says they have it. Triplett fumbling the ball on the return, and Lutheran Kohler takes possession.
Going for that extra yardage. Right here, you're going to see it.
He's very slippery. I mean, he's hard to get a good, solid lick on him. Duco missed him, and Duco's a pretty good athlete.
Oh, but there you could see it.
Yeah.
And just trying to give a little extra effort. It's going to cost him.
Ball on the 25-yard line. Plenty of time remaining for Lutheran Kohler to punch it in. There's 4:44 left until halftime. Johansson right behind Duco, and we get a whistle.
Too much time. No, legal substitution, something with the mask or something.
Might be, yeah. Well, if it's equipment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Illegal substitution is the signal. Whoa, 12 men on the field. Ay.
Well, they're just Troy Sanders there, the freshman, just thought he'd try to help out his team.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Throw an extra in there for a play.
1st and 5. Duco, hand off to Johansson. He's through the line of scrimmage and is knocked down.
I don't know why they don't go to that more often. I just said it's just his second carry in the quarter.
Yepers.
Oh, you want to put that in green, no, Marty.
I know that. Mind your own business, right? 11-yard pickup for Johansson. We'll do it right on this time. First and goal from the 9. You happy now? It's all green. Knobel a deep back behind Johansson. Knobel takes it off of left tackle and then cuts it up and gets down to about the 5-yard line.
Boy, the end for Hope there kind of slid in a little bit.
Yeah, right at the end.
Yeah, and that was the hole that they decided to run through.
How did they know that? Pickup of 3 yards by Knobel. 2nd and goal from the 6.
That was a big turnover for Hope.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want Hope to get the ball back with a chance to pull it in. Now you have a chance to give yourself a nice little comfortable lead going into the halftime here. Got to put it in, though.
Johansson, the lone setback. Knobel, wing right. Hand off to Johansson. No. Duco kept it, and flag comes in at the end. Good fake by Duco, and he had the opening. He had the touchdown, but a flag came out at the end.
There was a couple penalty flags on that one.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, it looked good. Holding on Lutheran Kohler. That hurts.
2 flags down, so it means a couple people were watching that situation.
Okay, let's see where they put the ball. It's a spot foul again. Happened near the end zone. And they're going to spot it out at the 10.
Ouch.
So it happened right on the goal line, Chris. It's going to be 2nd down and goal from the 10. Johansson again, the lone setback. Duco on a keeper. Powers through and into the end zone, touchdown. Duco again faking to Johansson. Took it off a right tackle, and he hit the hole hard that time, Chris. I don't know if you'll see it on replay, but you watch him take off through that hole. He was very quick, Duco was. Number 10 for 10 yards. Here you see it. Watch him scoot through. Boom. Right through there.
Yeah, they thought Johansson, there's about 4 or 5 of the Vegas gold pant and white shirts on him, but he didn't have the ball.
Watch this. Stefanchik. Good snap. Good set. Kick is a little bit too low, and his block no good. But
you asked him to watch it. Good cue.
3:21 remaining until halftime. Lutheran Kohler on top, 23-6. I don't think anybody.
Or where you are in life's journey, you're welcome here.
Mommy, will there still be penguins around when I grow up?
I sure hope so.
Do more than hope. Since the 1970s, global warming has caused ice in the Antarctic to melt, and populations of Adelie penguins have been rapidly declining ever since. There's still time to make a difference before the Adelie penguin vanishes along with its habitat. Go to defenders.org/global warming to learn more.
And a kickoff happening just as we come back. Triplett picks it up, looking for an opening. Now he takes, and he slips down. Tough luck for Jared Triplett, who had an opening, and legs just gave out on him.
Looked like he wanted to go, and when he decided to go, the opening was there, Marty, but you're right, he just kind of slipped.
I have dreams like that, you know, where you're running in quicksand. Ball spotted on the 30, so 70 yards away from pay dirt is Hope, and they have 3 minutes and 14 seconds left. Keep an eye on number 17, right there in the middle of your screen, Bruce Christopher. He is a very dangerous runner, and we get another timeout. This one by Hope. Again, their second timeout. They have one remaining. Chris, you were looking up TV8 is going to be where next week?
South.
And that's against Southwest, you said?
Yep, Bryce Pulp, former
Packer.
Packer is, I believe Southwest lost last week. I think they lost last week. I'm not sure to who, but I remember seeing that they had lost. Big games in the Valley last week. All those games were non-conference, but everybody played each other except I think 2 teams didn't play each other that were in the league. But big games last week was Sheboygan and Bayport, and Bayport defeated them. North is playing Sheboygan up there tonight, and South is playing at West tonight. And you see some of the Lutheran Kohler fans.
Yep, there's Kerry. There you go. Hey, doing a great job in there, Kerry. That's Mr. Kautzer. He kind of runs a TV station. Christopher on a keeper, getting around the end. He's got an opening before he's knocked out of bounds near the 45-yard line. Just about a 15-yard pickup. They are going to spot it right on the 45. So it's a 15-yard pickup for Bruce Christopher. He's up over 100 yards now, Chris, with that carry. Christopher at 84. Actually, I think he's at 97 yards, 96. So he's just under 100 as we roll into halftime. 1st and 10, Hope.
Oh, there's motion there.
Christopher. And whistle, stop play. You were right, Chris.
Austin Davis just took one of the seniors. Just took off too early there, and just penalties after penalties by this Hope team is hurting them.
Well, we thought that penalty on Lutheran Kohler when Duco took it in the end zone was going to hurt, but they just called the same play again and ran it from 5 more yards out. 1st down and 15, ball on the 40. Christopher back. Wings want a slant play to his wide receiver, Demetrius May, but it goes incomplete.
Well, he hit him right in the middle of his chest.
Hate that when that happens.
Man, that's just a perfect pass. It's got to be caught if you're Hope.
If you want to have any hope.
Exactly.
3:01 remaining until halftime. Lutheran Kohler up 23-6. Got to stay in your lanes, Lutheran Kohler. Don't let Christopher get loose. First back through is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. On the carry was number 4, Kadarius Jamerson. Picks up no gain on that one. It's going to be third down and 15.
No gain, 3rd and 15 from the 40-yard line.
Carey, I think, was right there again. Just going to say, Marty, Kohler Lutheran really shut them down the middle of the field. They're really struggling to get any big gainers up the middle. It's just that outside that seems to, every once in a while, get loose.
Good shot there of Ryan Johansson, number 24. Tell you, that guy's a man. Both sides of the ball. Linebacker on defense, running back on offense. Christopher straight back.
He's got time.
He gets spanked and fumbles, and Lutheran Kohler has it back.
Nearoff, I think, made the play.
Making the recovery was Adam Gansler, but I think it was, I didn't catch a number that, was it 64?
Yeah, I think it was Nearoff. Here comes the play.
He gets a good. Yeah, that was quite a hit. Fumble lost. 1st and 10.
Second turnover, and each time that Hope has had the ball, to add to their penalties, now they're turning the ball over.
Johansson, no, Duco on a keeper. He's through the line of scrimmage. He's got first down yardage. Near the 25-yard line.
And you can see the confidence building for Lutheran Kohler. Now they're getting big chunks of yards. Luca Duco run with a lot of confidence. Ouch.
Ball down to the 25. It was an 11-yard pickup. Duco with another nice run. Got an 11-yard run this quarter, that one there, and then a 10-yarder for a touchdown. Johansson had it and gets swallowed up. Picks up a few yards, but pretty good stop that time by Hope. It's going to be second down for Lutheran Kohler, 1:15 and counting in the half. Maybe Lutheran Kohler wants to use some of its timeouts, Chris.
That or move a little quicker. Now we call timeout. Excuse me on that. I was going to say move a little quicker to the line there.
1:08 remaining. There you see it. Lutheran Kohler on top, 23-6.
If you're not helping after-school programs, you're really helping to take them away.
That wasn't very nice.
After-school programs, wouldn't you rather be helping?
Back at Ebbin Field in Kohler, Wisconsin, where we have 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining until halftime. Lutheran Kohler trying to get another score before halftime. They have it. 2nd and 8 at the 23. Duco under center. Fakes to the first back. Now he keeps it running off to the left. He's got some room to roam. And tackle is made inside the 10-yard line. I believe that was Triplett on the stop, but Duco another nice run.
Yeah, and just look at how he's hopping around there. Nice holes. Just wore down that Hope defense here, especially in the second half.
14-yarder that time, Chris. Duco having a big quarter. 33 yards and 4 carries. There's Johansson, number 24 in the backfield. Fake to him. Duco on the keeper again, trying to get to the outside, and gets knocked down at about the 8. Maybe a pickup of 1. Clock rolling, 30 seconds and counting. And another timeout by Sheboygan Lutheran Kohler, and that'll be their 3rd, I believe. Oh boy. Not that you're in a tough spot, Chris, but you certainly have some options in terms of what you want to call for a play.
Bad news is they are out of timeouts.
Might you want to throw the ball?
I think you're going to have to throw the ball twice, but I'm also thinking about the field goal too. You're away on the right side, right hash, so maybe a little more difficult for a field goal attempt, but you have chance here for 2 throws easy here. But if you're going to throw it, you either got to throw it in the end zone or throw it to about the 1 so you can get in there, because if you land in bounds, you may not get another chance at another play.
Well, let's see what Coach Matt Zavada comes up with. The ball is at about the 8-yard line. It's a 2nd down and goal from the 8. Duco under center. Knobel is the wing off to the right.
Watch May. He's going to blitz here.
Fake inside. Pop pass. Knocked up in the air and intercepted in the end zone. And Hope stops Kohler. Lutheran Kohler.
Well, they went to that play, back to the play that they did earlier in the ball game. This here you'll see it. It's going to be deflected and picked off by Triplett.
Jared Triplett on the interception. Stops the scoring drive of Lutheran Kohler. I think play selection, Chris, that was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost got to throw the ball.
Well, you got to throw the ball.
First and 10, Hope from the 20-yard line. There's 24 seconds remaining. Christopher on a roll off to the left. He's got some room. And he picks up good yardage out over the 25.
Tick, 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 tick.
You were just waiting for that, weren't you? They had a timeout left? Wow, they did have one. I thought the other one was their 3rd, but it wasn't. Hope takes a timeout.
If I'm a coach here, and I've always wanted to do this, I'd put like 2 guys at the goal line. I mean, there's...
Oh, you mean Lutheran Christian? Put them way back. Put them 50 yards back.
Yeah, why not?
See if you can read the play.
Why would you even take a chance? Because they only have one hope, and that is to throw it up there and get a bomb.
Actually, I think this Hope business, I think there's 3 Hope schools. Grade school, middle school, and high school, I think. So they got 3 Hopes.
Well, I understand. Well, I guess.
Oh, you're talking about the game.
Yeah. As I was saying in the opening, I talked to some of the people. It's been in existence for about 5 years, they said, and there's a lot of new schools and charter schools and different types of schools going up throughout the state now. And
it's a great time to be a teacher. All the defensive backs are a good 15 yards back. One of them backs up to about 20 yards back. Handoff on a reverse. And on the carry that time was DeJounte Boyd, I believe it was. But not enough for the first down, and that's halftime with Sheboygan Lutheran Kohler on top, 23-6, in a very exciting first half of action. We're back at Eben Field where Lutheran Kohler leads at halftime, 23-7. We have some halftime stats. For Hope College, they had no passing yards. Chris, they were 0 for 4, but they did have 136 yards rushing and 20 carries. Lutheran Kohler, not much greater balance. They were 1 for 7 passing with 1 interception, but that one completion was a 20-yarder. And then they had 129 yards rushing in 20 attempts, so they ran the ball. There's Jimmy Rush and a couple of his cronies. I thought the defense for Lutheran Kohler really was pretty good, all things considered. Hope has some good speed and very shifty runners.
Well, they made some nice adjustments and kind of took away the outside of the game. It's basically been a story of big plays. The opening kickoff, ran back by Kohler Lutheran. A big run for Hope by Christopher, and then Christensen had the big play, and Duco had the big play, and the 2 turnovers by Hope just hurt them big time. This game easily could be 26-6 or 30-6, except for the INT by Duco there when his ball was tipped.
Yeah, right on the end zone too.
But the stats are pretty much the same. It's just a matter of the big plays. And that's the difference. Hope's going to start with the ball here to start the second half.
Christopher had 97 yards and only 8 carries. He was the top ground gainer in the first half. Ball taken by Hall, and he runs it up the middle to about the 30-yard line, a little bit over the 30, but it's going to be 1st and 10 for Hope.
Not only was we got a change here. We were calling Tim Neeroff 64, and it was actually Mike Krieger that made some of those big plays before, Marty.
Yeah, that's not our fault. Well, we do feel bad.
Yeah, but thanks for those guys getting it to us.
Second back through was hit right at the line of scrimmage and dropped. Good defensive play.
Before that, I was going to say, we saw Christopher's got good wheels, but we also saw he's capable of throwing a long ball. And we've seen some receivers get behind Lutheran Kohler, but he has yet to complete a pass. We also saw one just bounce right off of Demetrius' made chest. But don't take away that passing idea out of the heads either of your defensive backs, because you know he can throw it.
2nd down and 10. Ball spotted on the 33. Triplet on that first carry was stopped for no gain. Bruce Christopher under center. Second back through is Jamerson. He gets around the corner, and he's got room to roam. Finally knocked out of bounds near the 50-yard line.
Nice stop on the play by Holzheimer there. Coach Holzheimer. But
he didn't clothesline him, did he?
No. Here you'll see it.
Yeah. Look at that.
I'll watch as he hits Coach Holzheimer here at the end. Stands him up. Who needs a blocking sled?
Ball spotted at the 47-yard line. That was a 14-yard pickup by Jamerson. A late flag flies in. Triplet on the carry again. Triplet has not been able to break anything, Chris. In the first half, he only had 13 yards and 4 carries, but I tell you, he did a lot of running. Trouble is, it was east and west, not north and south.
Face mask, maybe?
It's on Lutheran Kohler, and they're marching it off.
Small one.
It is a face mask. Jamerson on a no yardage, but then we get a penalty on Lutheran Kohler.
Brings up 1st and 3 yards, ball on the Crusader 46-yard line.
Christopher takes the snap, gives the second back through. Jamerson, Triplet, who almost fumbled the ball, and he falls forward. I believe he's got enough for the first down. Ball is going to be spotted at about the 43.
Pretty long game, Marty.
Yeah. 1st and 10, ball on the 43. Wide receivers left and right. Christopher straight back, looking deep, directing traffic. He wings it down, or he's got a receiver who makes the catch near the 10-yard line.
Wow, told you he's got an arm.
Michael Gullery, I believe, 32 on the catch.
Boy, it didn't look like, he kind of just lofted up, and next thing you know, it's 35 yards downfield.
And when he throws, he doesn't seem to put a lot of effort in it. I mean, the ball just goes. 32-yard pickup on that play. That's the first completion of the night. Got a little bit of Joe Cap in him.
That was Austin Davis that caught that ball.
What number?
30.
30. Davis on the catch. 1st and 10 at the 11. Jamerson.
Boy, if you would have gone, oh no.
He cuts back. Luther and Kohler pretty good at staying in their lanes. He gets down inside the 10 to about the 9, but looked like he could have gained a lot more.
Yeah, he should have taken it up the middle when he decided to go outside. And Luther and Kohler again doing a nice job of containing that outside, but left. Now look, if he would have just cut it back, which he didn't, there was the big hole, but he decided to go around again. Again, a little bit of inexperience there. Just a sophomore, very, very young team, Hope.
2nd down and about 8 or 9 yards. Keeper by Chris. Oh, he trips down. Christopher trying to do it with the legs, but slipped on the run. Tough break for him.
Tough play for Hope, too. They're going to the short side of the field there, and it's all boggled up there. I didn't know how he was going to get there. Plus, you're pinned up against the goal line. So the players are closer yet. Better news for Sheboygan Lutheran Kohler. Now it's...
Good shot, Brian. Hello.
When I grow up, I want to be a TV camera person.
Ball spotted on the 10-yard line. It's 3rd and 9. Triplet the deep back. Christopher straight back, wings it out on a down and out. Wide receiver leaping. Couldn't quite make the catch. Good throw by Christopher. Pass was incomplete to Gullery, number 32. There you see him go up for it. 4th down and 9.
Well, they can get a 1st down here.
No, I was just going to say they're not going to kick a field goal if they didn't go for the extra point before. Christopher coming out a little bit late with the play, and we get timeout by Hope. And we're going to do a better job, Chris, of keeping track of these timeouts because we got a little confused in the first half. With 7:44 remaining in the 3rd quarter, there you see it, Lutheran Kohler on top, 23-6.
I didn't feel sick, so I didn't listen to my doctor. Then it struck. I had a heart attack, then a stroke, and I was only 49.
People with diabetes are 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer a stroke than people without diabetes, and many who survive are severely disabled.
Don't let diabetes destroy your life.
Learn how to reduce your risk of stroke. Call for your free diabetes survival guide.
Back at Eben Field, where Hope trying to punch it in. They got it all the way down to the 9-yard line. Pardon me, the 10. It's 4th and 9. Christopher looking to go wide. Good pursuit by Luther and Kohler, and they stop him far short of the 1st down.
Christopher stopped short of the end zone. Excellent coverage on the play by Ospedale.
All that effort.
Christopher picked up only 1 yard on that play.
And they come out with nothing. I don't, not sure what kind of call that was there. Didn't really look like they were even trying to throw the ball. I think it was going to be very difficult for him to run 10 yards.
Yeah.
Up against the goal posts and things like that again.
Duco again on the fake dive, and then he kept it. Duco's been much more aggressive, Chris, since the second quarter, carrying the ball. Pickup of 8 that time.
Very much so.
Duco in the first half had 8 carries for 27 yards. Johansson had 6 carries for 74 yards, was the leading ball carrier for Lutheran Kohler. Right up the middle by Johansson. Doesn't get much. And he did get the first down, though.
I was going to say, way back in the beginning, Duco started off 2 for -2. You know, though he only had 27 yards in the first half, you know, he started off pretty slow, but as the game wore on, he was picking up more and more yardage. And I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this night, he could get close to 100.
You break a long one.
You could.
Duco hands it off to Knobel on the inside.
I'm seeing the future, Marty.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be able to break one.
Second down. Pickup of maybe 1 by Knobel. Pretty good defense played that time by Hope. Call it the 21. And a long 9. We're easy up here in the booth. We give out yards left and right. Kautzer down on the truck is up to 85 yards rushing. Johansson on the carry, breaks loose. Boom! Take that! Up to the 37. Wow, he's a load. Is that Jacobs for the Giants last night? Who's that kid he laid out? Landry?
Oh, Clinton Portis had that big layout too on defensive end. Holy cow.
16-yard pickup by Johansson. Knobel fighting. Well, maybe a yard.
It's nice the NFL and college football is going, but it's also nice to have some baseball of interest. You know,
playoff time.
Yep, Brewers have a very good chance for the wild card, and Cubs are right there. And it's been a lot of years since we can talk about the playoffs in the state of Wisconsin. I know the Brewers are struggling. We should appreciate the fact they even have a chance. It's been a long time since the playoffs. It's a good thing they're filling the park, too.
You got that right. Johansson on the carry gets very little.
But it's nice that football's starting this weekend, too.
Bears are going to be on TV Sunday Night Football against the Colts. I know our fans will be interested in that.
Will they score an offensive touchdown against the Colts?
I don't think that's going to be the problem. I think it's going to be stopping the Colts. They'll get a touchdown or so on offense.
Uh-huh.
Duco on a keeper, trying to outrun the defense. He does. And he gets smacked out of bounds at about the 48, but he's going to have a first down. Duco with a strong run.
Tippy and Houston, freshman. Watch this, number 43, Houston, right into your living room.
Hello. Welcome to the park.
I'm a freshman. Can you imagine if he was playing against other freshman kids and he hits like that?
No kidding. Wow. Ball at the 48-yard line. It's 1st and 10. And a penalty.
Yipper. I'm not going to say that it was Brandon Kramer that, or somebody on the green team moved there.
It's going to remain first down, but now it's going to be 1st and 15. Ball on the 43. You know, you made a comment back in the first half, Chris, about pounding it up the middle with Johansson, and you know, a lot of times that's going to show itself in the second half when you wear down the defense. Let's see if that's not the case. Duco on a keeper and gets it up to the about the 44-yard line, maybe a pickup of 1. Duco on a keeper.
Like I said, to see the update there, Cubs and Reds. 10-1.
Cubs?
No.
Lot of time left.
It's a good thing to see the Cubs and Brewers peaking at in September.
Hey, there's still about probably not 20 games left, but enough that they can play, you know, and get back on a roll, hopefully.
Well, it's just interesting. Both teams are not playing well, and they're still looking at the wild card and
Knobel
division.
jumped that time.
It's a nice luxury to have to win all those games earlier.
I was going to say, too, about the Cubs. They're dealing with some injuries. The most pressing, of course, is Zambrano having a sore arm.
I wonder if Duco's going to have a sore arm after getting popped in the shoulder on that one.
Yeah, he really got hit hard, boy. That guy laid him out.
That's motion again. What is going on? You know, this is where call timeout, get them back focused here. What is going on?
They are marching backwards all of a sudden.
Well, it's just 3 in a row.
3 out of the last 4, you're right. I'll tell you, Hope is really playing good defense now.
I would have called timeout there and get the troops together. I mean, you're up pretty comfortable here. You know, finish it out strong. Mistakes like that are not what you need.
Duco rolling left, flips it out there. He's got his receiver. Making the catch was Ametri. Duco completing his first pass of the second half. Pickup of about 11 yards on that play.
Correction, it's 3rd and 18. Ball resting on the 43-yard line.
Ball at the 43. That almost looked like a motion too.
I agree. Kramer moved there.
Knobel making the catch and is almost a piling on. Is knocked out of bounds at the 45. That's only going to be a 2-yard pickup. And it'll be 4th down.
Good. Again, Houston with a nice tackle. 3rd punt for Lutheran. They're averaging 38.5 yards per punt.
Triplet back deep. We have 1:53 remaining in the quarter. Timeout by Lutheran Kohler. Interesting time for that, Chris, unless they didn't have the right personnel out for the punt. But, you know, somewhere along the line in that drive, they lost their focus. They had an 8-yard run by, there's Eric Wiesman up on top. Beautiful night, Eric. Too lucky we didn't do this game yesterday. I was going to say, Duco had an 8-yard run. Johansson, there's Brian Andrews on the field camera, getting his better side. Of course, even if we were looking at him, he'd still have that camera up by his face, so we wouldn't be able to see his mug. And I was going to say 8-yarder, a 3-yarder for a first down, then a 1-yarder, then a 16-yard run, and a 2-yarder, and then a 9-yarder, and then all of a sudden penalty, penalty, penalty. You know, it's not a good thing. Getting ready to punt it is Blindauer.
He called timeout. Now we got a disaster here.
Oh, Blindauer is going to get hit for a big loss inside the 30 at the 29.
Bad snap off the timeout.
And loss of 6.
You know what? Kohler Lutheran is awful lucky that Hope didn't score on that first drive. Because they didn't do much good on this one.
First and 10 Hawks from the 29.
Loss of 16 on that play. Hey, you got to respect these guys. They're very dangerous. Christopher can break one at any time. Jamerson on the carry. Tries to cut it back. And you get a late flag. I was watching Christopher on that play. Did you watch him? He pitched it. He saw his guy circle back the other way, and all of a sudden he's streaking down the field looking for someone to block.
Well, he did. He streaked down the field, and he held.
Was it on him?
Yep.
Oh. Holding on hope. Well, all of a sudden this game is turning into a penalty fest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of the last 8 plays, 4 of them have been penalties.
And one's a botched punt.
Yeah, and then we have the botched punt. That's right. It's going to be first down. Ball spotted at the 35. It's going to be first and about 16, I would say.
Repeating first down, first and 16 now for the 35-yard.
I hope those guys aren't listening to me down there. Triplett the deep back. Christopher under center. There you get a good shot of Bruce. Inside handoff. Jamerson. And 6-yard run, but I'll tell you, when he first got the ball, I thought he could have gone a lot further.
Matt Ossadell, the 6-foot senior there, came back from his defensive line and kind of popped him from behind.
Jamerson already with 4 carries this quarter. Ball spotted on about the 31-yard line. Actually call it the 30.
35 seconds left in the quarter. Just the third possession of the quarter.
Quick pass by Christopher, but a little behind his receiver, making it tough to catch. Pass goes incomplete.
That's
going to be
caught.
3rd and 11.
That's got to be caught, Marty. I agree with you. It's a little bit behind him, but oh boy.
There you see it, the ball spotted right on the 30-yard line, and it's 3rd down and 11.
Vegas gold is their color. Vegas gold.
Christopher probably more dangerous when he's running around with the ball than he is when he's throwing. Wide receivers switching sides. Demetrius May, and then Christopher goes under guard to get the snap.
And watch him make it. Oh, no.
Wheels one down. Closest person to the ball was Alan Rodriguez. Pass goes incomplete. Well, you know, he was so intent. You belong on that side, you know, and the guys are running over, and he quick jumps under the guard. Oops. I thought only Bobby Douglas did that. It's 4th down and 11. And being where they are, of course, they're going to go for it. Down deep. Now, for the most part, I mentioned this before, I thought Lutheran Kohler is doing a pretty good job on defense. May almost jumping offside, now gets in position. Christopher straight back, now he rolls out to the left, and he tucks it under, he's going to run, and runs over one Lutheran tackler, but doesn't get the first down. Branko Paseda took a lick from Christopher.
Good idea to run, but you can't run that far. That's the problem. It's just not the play in that situation. You're not going to pick up 16, 17 yards unless you catch a couple breaks there.
Ball spotted on the 24-yard line. Actually, it should be the 28-yard line. First and 10.
Sorry, Marty. I was just going to say, when you add up these totals, it wouldn't surprise me if Hope out gains Sheboygan Luther comfortably. Oh, boy.
Hit in the backfield and dropped. And that's going to be the final play of the third quarter. I think that was Johansson on the carry, Chris. I'm not quite sure. I couldn't get the number. But at the end of 3 quarters of play, Lutheran Kohler continues to lead this one, 23-6.
Dudley, spit out the toothpaste. That was the first time you brushed your teeth.
And I brush twice a day, every day.
Oh, here's that nice dentist, Dr. Benchley.
Yep, he showed me how to floss.
Why are your teeth blue?
I use my mouth guard whenever I play sports to protect my smile.
And visit the dentist regularly.
Remember, brush twice a day and floss once a day.
Parents, there's something you can do to protect your kids from drugs and alcohol. Combine ground beef with egg, tomato sauce, breadcrumbs, and spices. Bake in an oven-safe pan at 350 for 50 minutes. Serve hot.
This is Jamie Lee Curtis. Children who eat dinner with their families are less likely to smoke, drink, or use drugs. So, have dinner together every day.
Delicious.
A message from CASA, the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse at Columbia University.
Well, Chris, 16-yard loss by Blindauer on that punt really hurt him on the rushing side. In 10 carries, Lutheran Kohler had 23 yards plus 11 in the air. Gives them a total of 34 yards in the third quarter. A little better for Hope. They had 30 yards rushing on 10 carries, and he had a 32-yard reception. Gives them 62 yards in the third quarter, and we start fourth quarter action. Second down and 12. Knobel up the middle picks up about 2.
Down there watching Brian retrieve the ball and return it to Hope. He's multitasking.
Really? Third down and 9. We're going to call it 3rd and 10, though, because they only got him for 2 carries. 2 yards on that last carry.
Fumble, and I think Hope's got it. Oh,
they
boy.
Do.
I'm telling you, that first drive that Hope didn't score was big because this was a 2-score game. It might be a lot different, but I feel still pretty comfortable with the situation.
Hope has it, 1st and 10. Deep in Lutheran Kohler territory. Ball's going to be spotted near the 30-yard line. And again, they have great field position. I believe it was Duco who fumbled the ball. Ball is just inside the 30, so we'll call it the 29. And Hope with an excellent opportunity to close the gap. Right now they trail by 17 points. Jamerson is the deep back. He gets the handoff. Trying to get around the corner, gets by one tackler, gets by Johansson, and he's still on his feet, struggling. Finally gets knocked down. Making the stop was Connor Duco.
They're going to get a late hit on Tavanta Robinson, which I think was not such a good call, because watch at the end of the play here, you'll see a guy get knocked down, but oh, right there. That's a good call. Help him up.
I'll help you up. Decleat you and then pick you up.
We have a personal foul on the Hawk offense. Late hit on the play.
Okay, he got it down to the 18. That was a 12-yard pickup that time by Jamerson.
But once again, a big play by Hope, and it's basically taken away by a penalty.
Ball spotted back at the 33. And it remains first down. I see it's after the play. So they give him the first down to about the 17 or 18-yard line and then march it back. Ball is spotted on the 32 or 33-yard line. And it'll be first in a bundle.
Come on, guys.
5, 10. Should be about first and 20.
Dead ball, personal foul.
The penalties assessed after the first down was
So it's still first down and 10.
from the spot of the foul.
No? Yes? No?
Well, they got to get down to about the 8-yard line. The ball's on the 33, so it's about 25 yards away from first down territory.
Yep, and it's a first down.
First and 25 from the 33-yard line.
And we're ready to play. Chris getting a little frustrated. He's got plans for after the game. Ooh, almost fumbled by Christopher. And a cutback run by Triplett, and he's in the open. Duco gets the stop, but it's not until Triplett gets inside the 15-yard line.
Back to the original line of scrimmage.
Second down, 15-yard pickup. Make it more than that. It's about an 18-yard pickup.
Second down and 5 for the Hawks.
Make it second down and 6. A 19-yard pickup by Triplett. That was a nice run, Chris. Good cutback. Slant pass again is incomplete. Christopher throwing it a little bit too soon, I thought. He didn't let his man clear the defense.
No, and I think that was Webster's hands that it went off of. I think that's who he hit.
The defender.
Zach Webster knocked the pass down for the Crusaders.
Third down and 6. Ball spotted on the 13-yard line.
2 down territory, obviously, for Hope.
Let's call it the 14-yard line. Handoff. Jamerson trying to scoot through, but good defense played that time by Lutheran Kohler, bottling it up at the point of attack. Fourth down ball spotted inside the 15, down to about the 14-yard line, so a no gainer. Oh, I thought he gained yardage on that, Chris. Apparently not. Fourth down. Lutheran Kohler putting up a pretty good stand. They need to do it for one more play, however. Hand off to Triplett. He's not going to get anything. Good defense played by Lutheran Kohler. Again, bottling it up at the point of attack.
Not so sure about that call.
Great stop by the Lutheran defense. They'll take over on downs. First and 10.
I'll give Triplett a no gain, although I think he may have lost a yard. It's going to be first and 10. Lutheran Christian clock running in the fourth quarter. 9:18. Actually, it stopped right now. Guys from Lutheran, too honest.
Dodged another bullet there, Marty.
Yeah, they did.
Another chance to score, and they did not get one.
Knobel on the carry. Gets some plus yardage, not a great deal.
I'd love to see a nice 6-minute drive, 7-minute drive right down the field.
Devontae Robinson on this tackle.
Second down and 8. Ball on the 17 now. Knobel on the carry. A healthy dose of Johansson and Knobel right now, huh, Chris? Maybe a little bit of Duco sprinkled in. Duco under center. He looks like he wanted to keep it. There's a flag in the backfield. Probably indicate a penalty on Lutheran Kohler, and again, that's something that we don't need.
What happened to the Lutheran Kohler of the first half?
Michael Ratchet making the tackle for the Hawks.
Very efficient. Only turnover they had was at the end of the half.
Fifth penalty of the half for Lutheran Kohler, Chris.
Some nice things there, and right now they got to get back to what they were doing.
Ball all the way back to the 6-yard line.
Called against the Crusaders.
Should be second down, though, not first down. It is.
Well, they have to get it up to the 25. It's at the 6, so it's second down and 19.
Still no reason to put the ball up, though, Marty. You got a 17-point lead. You're buried in your own end zone here.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Last thing you want is a turnover.
Well, a cutback run on the carry. I believe that was Metri, number 4. Number 2 was Alan Rodriguez, actually. For Rodriguez was his first carry. Now, according to the paper, Josh Garcia was the leading ball carrier. We haven't seen him tonight. I wonder if he's hurt. Third down in a bundle.
Well, we never know if he just came in later in the game too, Marty. Who knows?
Clock running, 7:25. But all you can hope for now, Chris, is run that clock a little bit more. Duco looking, flicks it out, and overshot his receiver. Jacob Cans, pardon me. And that's going to stop the clock. First pass attempt by Duco here in the quarter. And it's going to be fourth down. Need a good snap.
Zach Lindauer in to kick for the Crusaders.
Lindauer had some trouble the last time on the punt. Well, if we have that same problem now, it's going to be a safety. Lindauer back deep. Triplett is the main return guy.
Oh, boy.
Or actually, you know what I think is Triplett moved up and sent his teammate back deep, knowing that he won't get it. Because Blindauer hasn't been kicking the ball that far. We're not sure who called the timeout. But it is a TO on somebody.
Hope.
Timeout taken by Hope.
Timeout on the Hope School. There you see Jermaine Evans. His team organized. I know I've said it before, Chris, and I think you agree with me on this. If it wouldn't be for the tough defense that Lutheran Kohler has played tonight, they'd be in a world of hurt because Hope has gotten the ball several times in very good field position.
Yeah, they've had opportunities, and when they had to, in that red zone defense, Lutheran Kohler has stepped up. South High next week?
South High next week, and they play Green Bay Southwest, coached by Bryce Pop. And you'd mentioned that you thought, if you read the paper right, that Southwest lost their first game. South, of course, beat Sheboygan North to win their first game. They've got West tonight, so they could be going into that game next week 2-0, and the first game of conference.
What's tonight?
Yep. Punt is away, a high one, but not very deep. Lutheran Kohler gets a good bounce, and it's going to go out to about the 26 or 27-yard line. Not a very good punt, but at least they get it a little bit away from the end zone. It's going to be 1st and 10, Hope.
The football team will be visiting Elkhart Lake Tuesday evening, game time 6:15. And next Friday, Lutheran Kohler will take on Cedar Grove right here at Evan Field, game time 7 o'clock.
Bottom line is the scoreboard, right?
That's all that counts, baby.
Because we don't want to look at the yards.
What does Al Davis say? Just win? Hope has it again. An excellent field position at the Lutheran Kohler 26-yard line. Boy, they've got the field spread this play, Chris. Quick out. A little bit over the head of the intended receiver, DeJounte Boyd.
I think they're trying to set up kind of like a wide receiver screen there. Basically, he would have had one-on-one coverage. He would have had to elude the Lutheran Kohler defender, and then you had blockers downfield.
Christopher is 1 for 6 in the second half and 1 for 10 in the ball game. That one completion was a 32-yarder, however. Second down. First back through, Jamerson, and he gets it down to about the 20-yard line.
I think we've mentioned this before. Coach Zavada going for his first varsity win tonight. In his first stint here, he didn't have...
Well, with that's not really his first win. It's first Lutheran Kohler win.
He didn't have any with Kohler either. He was 0 for 9, so...
Oops.
That'll be first win for him.
Third down and 5. Ball on the 21.
And some good things in that first half. And some things you're going to have to clean up a little bit. You got a tough Cedar Grove squad coming in here next week. But
handoff.
There he is again.
Swallowed up.
Mike Krieger. Wow, freshman. He's made a lot of big plays.
That was number 4, Jamerson, on the carry, correct, Chris?
No, it was not. It was Triplett.
Okay, 23. All righty, Triplett loses a couple yards on that play. It's 4th down and 7. Again, Lutheran Kohler pushing them back. The up back is number 33, Washington. Triplett the deep back. Christopher dropping back. Slant pass is knocked down by number 28, Zach Webster.
The Crusaders will take over on downs 1st and 10.
Christopher reminds me a little bit of Rex Grossman. He's not good at the short ball, the short throw, but he is pretty effective with the long ball.
He'll come with maturity too, just a sophomore, and like I said, he's got good feet. He can run, and Brewers are winning 2-1. CC Sabathia, they much needed win. Hopefully they can hang on.
Wide receivers left and right. Hansen takes it up the middle, doesn't get much, but does keep the clock running.
Under 5 minutes in what has been a very long game. Lots of penalties, a few turnovers. And considering there hasn't been a lot of passes, I mean, it's...
No, you're right. Usually you think of a long game because of a lot of incomplete passes, but the ball has not been flying around the yard much. 4:30 and counting left in the ball game. Lutheran Christian up 17 points. They got 2 men in motion. Now they get set. Another run up the middle by Johansson, but he gets very little, maybe a yard.
Nothing wrong with that. Keep the clock rolling, keep it on the ground.
Ratchet again on the stop. Being 2 on the play, brings it 3rd and 5.
3rd down and 5 yards to go. Ball spotted at about the 28-yard line.
Don't exactly have to be pretty here, just efficient.
Duco under center. He's been there all night. Rolling to the right. Oh, he flicks it out, and it's intercepted.
What is the thought process here?
And taken to the house for a touchdown. Pass caught and returned by Tippy and Houston. And what was really an easy return. I mean, the throw was right to him. Very bad decision making that time.
Well, you got to keep that ball on the ground, Marty. That's just what's...
Let's see how far that return was, Chris. Ball is picked
32.
off right at the 30, so give him 32-yard return. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That was not a good play. 32-yard interception return for a touchdown. Those are our first points of the second half. And they're going to try for 2 again.
There's got to be time delay here.
Christopher looking, and he's in. Rolling out to the right, pump faked, and then tucked it under and took it to the house. It's now 23 to 14. Still a 2-point lead, Chris, so they're sitting pretty good, but there still is 3:28 remaining. With 3:28 remaining and Lutheran on top, we'll take a short break and be right back.
The final score in the baseball games, the Chicago Cubs lost 10-2, and the Brewers are tied 2-2 at the top.
You're saving the extra money.
You gotta put it in stocks.
If you want to get ahead.
No, buns.
And CDs.
Way to go. Buns, flattering, you
Stick it under the mattress.
Getting plenty of advice, but not enough facts? Visit saveandinvest.org. No confusing advice, no sales pitch. Just unbiased information and tools to help you manage your money with confidence. Saveandinvest.org.
Back at Eben Field in Kohler, Wisconsin, where lightning has struck. Hope not able to do much on offense. Got a 32-yard interception return by Tippy and Houston for a score, and now they're within 9 points. It's 23 to 14. Game is not over yet.
Well, Hope only has 1 timeout. I don't know why they're not trying to. Well, they're just gonna.
A squibber.
Yeah.
And covered up at about the 23-yard line by Lutheran Kohler. I believe it was Mike Krieger on that cover up. It's going to be first down, Lutheran Kohler at the 23-yard line, and they could run a lot of clock here. I mean, almost 2 minutes if they play their cards right. And I'm talking about even if they don't get a first down.
Yep. And hang on to the pineapple.
Let's not pass the ball.
Hang on. No fumbles here at all. Good exchanges. Nice little blocks and holes there. There you go. There's a
Knobel, second back through, gets it up to about the 24.
Wow. 1 yard's not enough. I thought he had a nice little burst there, but Hope held.
Certainly did. They're giving him no gain. It's second down and 10, even though he probably gained about a half a yard. You know, we've been pretty generous with the yards, Chris. Let's give the kid 1. I mean, what do we care? It's not official anyway, right? Second down and 9, clock running, 2:40 and counting. Duco gives it off to Knobel, who gets it up over the 30-yard line. So a nice little pickup on that run.
Well, this is where you have a guy on the sideline as a coach to be watching when they put the ball in play. And now you can, start your little clock and basically tell the quarterback when you want to start the play,
Yeah, good point.
This is
rolling down to 2:05 and counting. Hope 2 scores behind.
See, now you should be looking to the sidelines, and the coach can tell you when to snap within like 3 seconds.
Duco barking the signals. Johansson bursting through the line of scrimmage, looking for blocking, and he's knocked down from behind, but he gets the first down over the 40-yard line.
And that should do her.
That should do it is right.
Hope with just 1 timeout left.
That was a 12-yard pickup.
You don't have to even get a first down anymore, Marty.
Ryan really covering that ball up nicely, too. 1:30, clock running again. Could almost do a couple kneel downs here.
I would kneel down.
Get the victory formation going. Knobel takes it off right tackle, picks up maybe 2. And that's the final timeout if Chris's counting is correct.
Well, what happened was they had to take a timeout for that extra point.
Yep, and then they goofed it up anyway.
Yep, and then they, no, not the, was it the extra point?
Let's see, I got
or
it.
something.
On the, that's the goal.
Oh,
let me go back and
punt or something, and then early in the second quarter they took one too where they really didn't have to.
They had it on 3rd down, and after the incompletion to set up the 4th down play, and then Christopher got flushed out and only gained 1 yard. I think that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah. So 2 timeouts that they really didn't need to use, but.
Well, that was when the other timeout, talking about the punt, was when Lutheran Kohler was punting, according to my information here. Chris going downstairs to hopefully get a couple of the Lutheran Kohler players for an interview. It's 2nd down and 7. Knobel, the deep back, he gets it. Tries to scoot off of right guard, but he's knocked down right away for a no gainer, but it'll get the clock running.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
15 yards and 6 carries this quarter for Knobel. We're under a minute, and it's 3rd down. Ball spotted at about the 47. We'll give Knobel a 1-yard pickup on that last play. We're pretty easy with the yardage. It's 6 yards, 3rd and 6, long 6. Duco on a keeper, trying to get to the outside. Don't go out of bounds. Well, he's got the first down. The clock's going to stop anyway. He's knocked out of bounds right at the 40-yard line. Good play by Duco. Picks up 13 yards on that play. Kurt Duco's 2nd carry of the quarter gives them a 1st and 10. Right at the 40. Clock stopped with 20.8 seconds remaining. See if they go to their victory formation and do a kneel down. It's 23-14. Lutheran Kohler is going to win this one, their first win of the year. Make them 1-1 on the season. With this loss, Hope will also drop to 1-1 on the season. No victory formation, but Duco does do the kneel down. That'll get the clock running, and that'll be the ball game. So Lutheran Kohler on the strength of their defense and a long kickoff return by Mike Knobel gets the lead, and then they held on for a 23-14 win here at home at Eben Field in Kohler, Wisconsin. We're going to step out for a minute. When we come back, Chris will have hopefully a couple of players from Sheboygan Lutheran Kohler to interview, and I'll have the final stats for you.
Just close my eyes and I'm with you, and all that I so wanna give you, it's only a
You don't have to be a hero to be a hero. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
Pop quiz for you. In what movie did I play a gang leader struggling in school? Who was my teacher? What did I learn in math class? Oh, and here's one about you. What did your kid learn in math class today?
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school and know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
The United Church of Christ. No matter who you are or where you are in life's journey, you're welcome here.
We're at Eben Field. There you see Chris down on the field. Chris, take it away.
We're here with two victorious Lutheran Kohler players. Mike Knobel, we'll start with you. No scoring last week. It took you 14 seconds this week.
Yeah, it was great. I don't know. I just saw the hole and I ran right up the middle, and I know it was great. Yeah.
Well, after last week struggling a little bit, it's got to be great to get that first score right off the bat, and had to get the kickoff team out there, and something you didn't have to do a week ago, and hopefully you forgot about last week and just started fresh this week.
Yeah, that's what we kind of did. We kind of just said that was in the past, and our next game was the game we were going to focus on. And that was tonight. So.
Well, first half you guys played very well, especially on offense. A lot of holes, a lot of things, got your things flowing a little bit, and you really, kind of just wore them down a little bit, especially in that second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, our defense stepped up in the first half, and our offense just cruised.
Yeah. Team that you probably thought you should win and could win this year, and different offense this year, a little bit different than like last year. You like it?
Yeah, I do. I do, definitely.
Well, you showed some heart there in the first half, and second half got the victory when you had to. Congratulations. Good luck with the rest of the year. Big change from last year. Last year you had to throw the ball all the time. Now you get to use your feet a little bit. You like doing that?
Yeah, it's fun. Different challenge. Really enjoy it. We got guys that know what they're doing. Lot promising.
Well, I thought something for you. It seemed like the first quarter things were a little bit slow for you, but in the second quarter you really found little holes and saw a little get up in your step and things, and the confidence was definitely building for you too.
Yeah, it certainly was.
You're not too many seniors. You got kind of a in-between balanced team, some young kids too, and each week they're going to have to grow a little bit as the season progresses. It doesn't get any easier next week with Cedar Grove.
No, we'll definitely have to work hard. Not much else to say there.
Yeah, nice to get wins though for this program. They've struggled over the years, and learning something new, and getting wins is something you want to build not just for now but for the future.
Yeah, we're definitely looking to win a lot more.
And seniors can show some of that leadership and things like that?
Oh, yeah. We've got guys stepping up.
Well, it looked like you guys were pumped up there. Congratulations on the victory. We'll be back here to see you guys when you play Stockbridge, so good luck the next couple weeks. With that, we'll send it back to Marty.
Some final stats from tonight's game. Lutheran Kohler finished with 229 yards, 198 rushing and 44 carries, and 31 yards passing on 3 for 11 and 2 interceptions by Kurt Duco. Hope on the flip side had just a little bit more. According to my stats, they had 232 yards total, 200 yards rushing in 36 attempts. And Bruce Christopher was 1 for 11 passing, but that one completion was a 32-yarder. Keys to the game was the very start. Number 13, Mike Knobel took the ball at the 13-yard line on the kickoff, returned it 87 yards, and Lutheran Kohler was off and running. A little bit later in the first quarter, they had a real nice field goal by Ryan Stefanchek, who kicked a 28-yarder, made it 10-0, and that's how the quarter ended. Hope got a score in the second quarter, a 1-yard run, but that came after a 51-yard run by Bruce Christopher, and that made it 10-6. They missed the 2-point conversion. Lutheran Kohler came back with a 2-yard run by Knobel, his second touchdown of the night, to make it 17-6. And then Duco had a 10-yard run late in the third quarter to make it 23-6, and that was the scoring for Lutheran Kohler. Hope did get a touchdown late in the fourth quarter, a 32-yard interception return by Tippie and Houston to make it a final of 23-14 for Lutheran Kohler in what was a really entertaining ball game. Hope had several opportunities to score, getting the ball in great field position deep in Lutheran territory, but Lutheran always seemed to hold on. For the crew behind that camera, Eric Weisman, Brian Andrews down on the field, my partner Chris Wright, and of course our captain Kerry Kautzer in the truck spinning the dials. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you down the road.